Good morning. Tony Dattino here, founder of the USA Memory Championship, and excited to share an experience I had yesterday that was absolutely memorable, if I can put it that way. It was just awesome. As I needed to go to the hospital for a procedure that I was in need of doing, and I got to go into one of the surgery rooms that they had to prep me for, and putting the veins and all the stuff they put on your arms and checking your vitals and all of this. And lo and behold, as I am there, I had spoken to a nurse manager of the unit who kind of runs the whole unit on the phone several times, and waiting until I got into the facility to come in and remind me that she was a student of mine in one of the leadership workshops that I was doing with her at a different Advent Health hospital location in a course we call Leadership Frameworks. And she brought back the memories of the experience of who was the executive CEO, who was the COO, what was the class, what were the lessons that I taught, and how those lessons have so helped her career and have so helped her be a superior leader of groups of people that she now has a much bigger group as she's moved up through the management ranks and the leadership roles, and how she felt that this was her way of making sure her team was giving me the best possible care possible because of what I meant to her. And I could never be more pleased about bringing back memories of a life experience and dealing with someone who took the teachings and put them here and put them to use. Then I'm getting ready for a procedure and getting ready to go into an operating room, and I was about as calm as I could be. I was about as reflective as I could be. I was actually spending some time with her. It's like, so rather than being nervous and hyper as I'm waiting to go through talking with the anesthesiologist and the doctor. If you've been through operating, you know exactly what I'm talking about. The anesthesiologist comes in and talks to you and raises questions and sees you before, and any issues or concerns you have, making sure there's nothing in your mouth, no jewelry on or things. And then the doctor comes in, but waiting for that and talking with this leader, it was so calming. It was like, my goodness, the next thing we're chatting and bringing back memories of the classes and the teachings and how it made a difference in the care at the location she was at that point in time, how it made such a big difference in the way the team at that location operated with their worked with their patients, cared for them, and treated everybody like they were a family member and the most important person in the whole world. And so going through that just brought me to a level of calm and memories, the memories of the teachings and what we were teaching about leadership skills. And one of the things that we obviously taught was a lesson on memory. What are your patients and your staff members likely to remember about the interactions that you have day after day? And what are the things that are standing out in their memories as one of the first interactions that you have with them, and how that begins to shape the environment and exactly what is going to happen, and how then things that are outstanding or that stick out as unusual in the middle or map out differently to the patient, that causes them to be a little more hyper. And then how do you leave the patient at discharge? How do you leave them as they're going out and going about their world, and the first things that they say to people about their experience? And so it brought back all those memories, and I took her back to, during this experience, one of the lessons, if we go back to 2011, was leaving people with blanks. That generates anxiety. A blank being incomplete information. They're asking a question and hasn't been answered, or a patient is worried about something and they need to know a test result, or there's a procedure as now, and there are questions in the patient's mind that causes them to be a little bit stressed and anxious. And so they've taken those teachings, and I felt like I was a model patient from everything I had taught. And she was saying, and that's why I expect that your experience here will be as perfect as we can possibly make it. And that no patient is ever a bother, but that one that we can serve and make a difference in their care and how they get treated and how they leave feeling like they were the most important person that we all felt in our lives. And boy, did they model that. I mean, from each person I got to meet, it was like this leader of the unit was able to replicate her love and passion and care of people to every one of her staff members, to her own managers, to the charge, to the actual nurse that did the work, and that this was a coherent unit of people all living and practicing their compassion and empathy and the trust and confidence they built with each and every one of their patients. And to see a whole unit of people in an operating room be all aligned and consistent, it brought me back to the teachings I've done for so many years to say, what a way to close a loop from 2011 to see a manager at a front line then run a whole big unit 14 years later, and see those teachings and principles alive and well like a videotape, and I happen to be the patient. Can the world get any smaller or any more different than that experience, which left me feeling totally trusted and totally confident that I was in the right hands of the whole team member, and that I was their most important person, regardless of whether I was a teacher back in 2011 or not, but that I was able to influence the behaviors of a unit that brought back the memories and brought back the experiences and the classes and the teachings and the different lessons that I wanted them to recognize when they were caring for patients, and to be able to see it in living color with me being the patient. And I can't, and even at my discharge after the procedure, having even the discharge, I mean, I kept asking each person, how long have you worked here? And it was like, I couldn't believe, like every single person that I got interfaced with, from the front point of the front desk to the person that got me into the pre-room, to the people, every individual that walked into that room and did whatever they did, to the people that then went to the OR and had the procedure done, and how each of them conversed with me, and then coming back and discharge, and then my discharge, and even this morning I had to make a follow-up call on something. Having to live on the other side of this from the teachings I've done, I can't say how much better I could feel from this, and what memories it has invoked from 15 years of working with Advent Health Hospital, and seeing managers that have come up through the ranks and people impacted by that manager, living what I taught, and now I'm on the receiving end. How does the world get any smaller than that? So I hope you feel my gratitude for the team at Advent Health in Winter Garden, Florida, as having a team of people who are living what they preach. And boy, if there's anything my mom always said, do you practice what you preach? And I will certainly say this team practiced what I have taught. And I love it, and I can't tell you how much that has meant to me in creating memories that will last a long, long time. We'll see you back here on Friday. Have a good week.